Counter-Strike 2 came out this week, and gosh, you could just feel the magnitude of this event. Right? There was a lot of gaming business news this week. Epic laid off 16% of its workforce, which is scary. Where on the other hand, Jim Ryan finally retired. But I find myself a lot of times covering topics such as these. I find myself woefully unqualified to talk about them. As you can see, I'm not much of a businessman myself, so most of the time I feel like maybe it's best if I don't even cover such topics. However, sometimes I see something where I think to myself, oh yeah, that makes sense to me. I get this one. Sega announced this week that they have canceled Hyenas. And oh yeah, that makes sense to me. I get this one. Now, this cancellation in particular is unusual in that the game was so far along. They were showing up at Gamescom and uploading videos to their YouTube channel just 3 weeks ago. People played the beta. Even if you've never heard of Hyenas before, look at this image. You don't have to know a thing about what kind of game this is to understand that it's a franchise with zero promise. And here's my inner issue with this. Yeah, Sega, obviously. Cancel that game. But there are human beings attached to it. There are artists who created these worlds and double jumps and animations and characters and music and sound effects and music. And also, there are people who made this game that will never be appreciated. And there are people who wanted to play this with their friends.
So I'm looking forward to play this with my friends.
And on top of that, canceling Hyenas may, unfortunately, result in job losses. So even though it did seem like a painfully obviously flawed product from the first reveal, it does also feel like it's poor form to kick a game when it's down. And so I wondered, is there such a game? Is there a game you can make a video about and mock it relentlessly and never have to feel bad? Don't say fair games. Don't be rude. Stop saying obviously fair games. That could still be good somehow. We don't know. So I'm looking at this week's new releases. What new games are being sold to people this week? And well, what do we have here? The jumping food memory. Previously on Delayed Input. Last year I did this whole episode about this rampant trend of games that are specifically designed only to get you a platinum trophy as quickly as humanly possible. The world's largest nugget weight over 50 pounds. Oh, now I'm so hungry. Well, we got it. And then in November of last year, Sony reportedly asked developers to stop doing that. They classified those games as spam or repetitive content and told the developers to stop uploading them, please. And fairly soon after that, these zero-effort platinum trophy games began to fall off. Webnetic, who was making weird stuff like the Giraffe G and the Pig D Deluxe, so they kept making games, but they started differentiating them in sort of abstract, bizarre ways, such as the recently released Hit the Color, Circle Dodge, and Dodge It. Zakeem, who made the Zump Jump games, as well as the Mermaidio and the Pretty Bird series. Heck, they also made Bilmo. They have seemingly stopped making games altogether. Clavaco managed to get an unseemly amount of Journey games out in a few months, and let me just remind you, the Journey is this. And those games stopped. However, they did just make Boat Trip and Do Not Crash over the summer. Unfortunately, there are no screenshots attached to those games, so it's just up to us to wonder what those games are like. And then there was The Games, the godfather who made all those jumping food games. So they stopped making the jumping food games after Sony's warning. However, they did keep publishing the Quiz This series well into March. In June, they made this game called Archer's Dream, which seems to have like a full mobile game progression. And then Mr. Hibble, The Lost Levels in August. And now we have Thea Games Presents The Jumping Food Memory. Look at the Thea Games Presents. They've never done that before. They seem to be proud of this one. This one seems to be a statement. And that's really what interests me in the whole thing, is that we had this issue where the PlayStation Store was inundated with these non-games that were, in fact, devaluing the entire marketplace. Sony, after months of inactivity, finally says, okay, stop making those. And those developers said, okay, sure. And half of them stopped making games. And then the other half, instead of trying to make new, interesting games that might just be fun on their own merits, simply tried to scheme out some new low-effort platinum trophy bait that technically still abides by Sony's rules. However, as internet commenters will always remind you, you can't say a game is bad for sure until you've played it yourself. Have you played it? It's unassailable. It wins any argument. You can't say it's bad until you've played it. Sure. So, I will play the Jumping Food Memory so that we all can know positively that it is, in fact, shit. Alright, so we're right here on the title screen. And you're wondering why import PlayStation 4 save data is right there up front. I'll tell you, this is appealing to trophy goblins. Basically, you can earn the platinum in the PlayStation 4 version of this game and then load up the PlayStation 5 version, click that button, and then get a whole second platinum trophy just like that. Devious. The Jumping Burger. Okay. I gotta say, this is pretty fun so far. So I did pretty bad on that one. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like shit. Alright, like I actually can't. I actually can't. I'm playing like absolute shit, but at least I'm getting trophies. Where everything began. Complete the Jumping Burger Kitchen. Gosh, it's almost like they're actually appreciating their own legacy there. Wait, no, when does this end? Hold on now. When does this end? Okay, so we finished Burger. And now we're on to the Jumping Taco. Look, I can put up with a lot. I can't do it. 89.2% of players earned the platinum trophy. I actually cannot. I can't do it. But 89.2% of the players said, yes, I enjoy this. Gremlins. Platinum Gremlins. So it really is a memory game created to honor the legacy of the Jumping Foods games. I should have pre-recorded that. The intent was I want it to be natural. I'm going to record it in the middle of recording this video. And it's like set my mood. I'm not in a good mood anymore. I think we all have franchises and video games that we actively dislike. But it's not like we want large groups of people to lose their jobs. Here, I have no qualms actively hoping for this business to fail. And I say this without an ounce of guilt. The Jumping Food Memory is absolute hog slobber. Somebody had to say it. And that's delayed input for this week. Thanks for watching. Previously on Delayed Input. Unfortunately, there are no screenshots attached to those games, so it's just up to us to wonder what those games are like. Drive your car to avoid obstacles and cars chasing you. Crash the cars and collect coins to buy a new whip. I mean, why not? Why not? So confusingly, the game is do not crash, but it seems to reward you for crashing? Ooh, I need that money. Shit. Okay, so it seems like head-on, absolute head-on does not take a heart. But if they touch your butt, it takes a heart. Okay. We're getting it. This is probably a mobile game, right? The comments are gonna say like, they're gonna say like, I already played this on my phone 2 years ago. This is Crashy Crash. This is a huge step up from their Journey games. Oh, rocks just kill you. I bet you're watching this like, oh, I can do better. I would play that. I bet that's what you're thinking. Oh, I would love to play that right now. Oh, I would have turned right there. I wouldn't have hit that rock. Most of the time you can't see your health because there's a trophy in the way. Can I buy a new car yet? 400 coins? YFR, bro. 600 coins? God, I want that car. Ooh, I want that car. 50 is the cheapest we could get. Okay. So I'm guessing that the way you progress in this game is not by getting better, but by buying cars that have more health. If I can just get 50 coins, I will know if this is a good game or not. All right, let's buy this one. Great sound effect. No, it has the same amount of hearts. Shit. It's not faster, it's just a different color. So here's the thing. All of this is bullshit. I think you'd have to play for hours to get 600 coins. Well, no, I got 50 coins in 10 minutes. You'd have to play for 1 hour to get 60 coins. To get 600 coins, excuse me. But they'll give you the platinum trophy before you even, you don't even need to unlock any cars. Satisfaction level 6.22.